All right, today we're going to work a little bit with some extrusions. We're going to be making this part right here. This is a part of a Kant twist clamp. It's this part right here. That's what we're going to be creating. So here's the example. This is finished. You can see that I did a couple things here, and we're going to do it a little bit better than this first part. Over here, the first thing I did was I made a cube extrusion. I then made the V cut, and then I added the hole. All right, so follow along, open up SolidWorks. We're going to open up a new part. Okay. Just like every time, we're going to make sure that we are in the correct unit. This is in inches, so we're going to stick with that. We're going to open a sketch. All right. I'm going to go on the front plane. Doesn't matter which one you want. All right. On the first part you saw that I just did a square. That is one way of doing it. It's the slower way of doing it. So what we're going to do is, instead of drawing just a cube, we're going to add that V in right now. All right. Doesn't look exactly right. What we're going to do is let's add some relations. All right. Let's say this point, I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to click Shift, hold Shift, and click the midpoint. Okay. You can tell it's the midpoint because the symbol next to my cursor has changed to a midpoint symbol. I'm going to Shift and click that. And now I have two places where I can add relations. Right here, okay, I can make those vertical. I can make them horizontal. That's not going to do very well. I could make them coincident, live in the same place. I could fix it. Remember, this is we're not going to be using this throughout this class. If that window ever goes away, which it will, you've got those same options over here. I'm going to make that vertical. All right. Now you see that it extended out my part. All right. And now this point and this point are vertical. All right. So let's throw some dimensions in. I know that this is a 1/2 inch part. All right. I know it's a 1/2 inch part. This direction as well. Whoa. All right. Something went wrong on mine. Something may have gone wrong on yours too. All right. So I'm going to say this line and this line, again, holding Shift and selecting them both. I want those to live in the same horizontal plane. Oh, I want them to be collinear. They already are horizontal. I want them to be collinear. All right. Still doesn't look quite right. There are a bunch of ways that we could get this to work. The way that I like is I'm going to select that line. Now, you'll see that I could select the point. Points and lines have different relations that they can have. So I want the whole line. I want that whole line. And I want those to be equal. All right. And you see that they're equal. Now, if I go in and change the dimension of what one of this one, all right, it will update the dimension of this one. They will always be equal. All right. Last thing that we have that we can change. See, those are still equal. The last thing that we have that we can change is this distance here. So let's add a dimension there. I want that to be 0.15. Okay. And now it's fully defined. All right. So let's go ahead and extrude that. It is a cube. Again, a bunch of things that we could do here. I'm going to actually make this a mid-plane. You could leave it as blind if you wanted. And we know that it's a cube, so that's 1/2 inch. I have 0.25 on this side, 0.25 on this side. And I'm going to finish that sketch. All right, last thing that we need to do as far as features, we are going to go to the Sketch tab. The Sketch on the ribbon, it says select a plane or a planar surface or an edge or an existing sketch to add. All right, we are going to just select this face right here. All right. So now that we've selected that face, we are going to be drawing on that plane. Remember, that plane goes in all directions off forever. All right. What I did there is I just pressed spacebar. All right. And I made my view normal to the face that I'm drawing. All right. We're going to add a circle. All right. I can lock here. And you see that I am locked. It'll give me kind of a guide. And there I now have a guide to put this circle right in the middle, right in the center of that cube. Mention that we're going to make that 1/8 of an inch. So I can put in 0.125 or I can add 1/8 of an inch. Right. Now it says 0.13 there. We could add accuracy and we would be able to see that dimension accurately. All right. Now, even though I placed it there, for some reason this didn't add relations. So we've got to come back in and we will add a vertical relation. Remember, by holding shift and selecting those 2 points. And I want a horizontal relation. So click there, hold shift, click here at the center point and make those horizontal. And now I have a fully defined circle on that face. All right, we're going to go to features. We're going to do an extruded cut. All right, we've got a bunch of options here. We can just go blind a certain distance. If we wanted that hold to stop halfway, that's how we do that. We could go through all. Now right now it just shows it going through this, but if we made this cube bigger, it would always cut all the way through this part. So just in case we go bigger, make a bigger clamp in the future, I want that to cut through all. Okay. And hit the green check mark, and there we go. We've got a hole, goes all the way through. All right. Last thing I want to do, I want to change the material that this is made out of. If you remember back to this clamp, you can see that that's made out of copper. We're going to make ours out of copper as well. So material not specified, that's why it's this wonderful gray color. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to edit the material. All right, now this may take a minute. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than that. All right, and now I have all sorts of materials that I can use. All right, if I come in to copper alloys and do the little drop down, all right, the arrow, I've got copper, brass, you've got all sorts of things. If I go to copper, you can see that it has the properties of copper. All right, so I'm gonna select copper, hit OK, apply, close, and now my part is made out of copper. We'll be changing materials quite a bit, so make sure you're familiar with how to do that, and we will go over how to use that in the future.